In Myrtle Beach, you always go at your own pace. Lie out on the sand, lie out by the pool, go boogie boarding, go surfing, walk the boardwalk, walk the marsh walk, golf at one of 90 golf courses, mini golf at one of 50 mini golf courses, fish off a pier, fish from a chartered boat, go shopping, get drinks, eat the freshest seafood. The list is exhaustive, but the experience isn't. You can go all out or do nothing at all. How you relax is up to you. There is so much to do and explore, whether you're traveling with friends, family, or just yourself. With 60 miles of beach, you're going to find your place. If this sounds like what you need, then this is where you belong.
Realtree has always had a connection to the fishing industry and the outdoor lifestyle. In 2016, Realtree expanded on the traditional business of creating the world's most effective camouflage patterns to create a fishing brand and family of patterns designed to connect the woods to the water and strengthen the bond between the two worlds. We couldn't be more excited to be working with the industry's top brands, retailers, and anglers to continue our growth, and we hope that you will join us. Enjoy Realtree fishing patterns inshore, offshore, on the lake, or at the dock. Learn more about the extensive line Realtree fishing patterns, apparel, gear, and more at Realtree.com.
Hey, do y'all like fishing for prizes? Maybe a trip to Costa Rica or a once-in-a-lifetime African safari? Well, the Grand Strand Fishing Rodeo is back. Thanks to the hard work of Visit Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and Trilogy Outdoors Media, this once-popular event is back and is bigger and better than ever. This event is comprised of 12 monthly competitions that culminate in November with our annual Banquet and Expo, the celebration of fishing on the Grand Strand. New to this event is the freshwater division that will help include all of our anglers that live and visit the Grand Strand throughout the year. Monthly species winners will receive great prize packages from Bass Pro Shop and Surf Signs and Designs. But most importantly, they will receive an invite for them and a guest to our annual banquet and an entry in the grand prize drawing. So whether you fish the rivers, a pond, the pier, the surf, or a boat, you have a chance to win the grand prizes. To get signed up or for additional information, visit TrilogyOutdoorsMedia.com and click on event. Also, you can visit any of our weigh stations and registration stations to get signed up as well. Thanks to our wonderful sponsors, South Atlantic Bank, Surf Signs and Designs, Bass Pro Shops, Trilogy Outdoors Media, Visit Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and many more. Best of luck to everyone, and we'll see you at the scale.
Trilogy Outdoors.
All right, folks, welcome to this week's episode of Trilogy Outdoors Podcast, and it's been a long time, but we are not in the Trilogy Outdoors Podcast studio. I'm on the road, and you haven't heard the esteemed senator yet. He is not in the house. He is playing G.I. Joe this weekend, as I refer, but he is down in Fort Stewart, and I have set up a little podcast here on the beautiful bow of a Tidewater 32 Custom. Am I saying that correct, Scotty?
That's correct.
Yep, Tidewater 32 here at Marshall's Marine, and we are here for the Five Rivers Chapters NWTF Banquet, which, Scotty, you've been working on a little bit.
Yeah, we've been getting ready for this week, and this will be, I don't know how many years now, but at least 5 or 6 years in a row, and it gets better every year.
It does. It gets bigger and bigger, and, Chris and I talk a lot during the week. This week, hang on, there we go. Oh, all right, we're good. Little technical difficulty, I've been through that all day long. Wow. All right. Anyway, we're still here. Yeah. So, anyway, Chris and I were talking, and record-setting numbers tonight.
Yes.
Obviously, pre-booked tables, pre-booked tickets, sponsors, and everything else. I think we're going to be at max capacity.
Yeah. Yes. They're going to. We're going to be busting at the seams, I believe. Everybody's decided. They probably announced it was going to be a Brown's barbecue. And everybody's looking forward to that. I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah, you referred to busting at the seams. I think there'll be some of that happening with some belt buckles later. There's no doubt about it. But y'all have done a great job. You always do. Marshall's Marine, whether it's here, Lake City, when you guys get into any kind of fundraiser, you host multiple banquets over in Lake City. You host other things here. We do our fishing seminars here. But y'all really do roll out the red carpet. But I'm going to say it works. Yeah. It makes a difference. I know you're trying to give back. I know you're trying to get involved. But, the guys walking by and standing around a boat, it's hard for them not to get that in their mind. I know we've got Lucas sitting on the bow of this boat that, I'm going to be honest. I'll go ahead and say it. This boat was ordered and brought into this place with you in mind.
That's correct.
It was. I mean,
Well, as soon as I get my wife to that open bar over there, maybe it'll leave with us.
and that's right, because that sound you hear is Lucas Williams. You've heard him on the show. Team Trilogy, by the way. Team Long Run, but he is a member of Team Trilogy. Lucas is our King Mackerel offshore, and he's my partner. We're fishing the Wahoo Series, Team Marshall's Marine Trilogy Outdoors, and he does. He likes this boat. He does, and we can talk about this later. I mean, there's things, and we've talked about it before, but there's a setup for king mackerel fishing is different than the one that's probably going to make your wife happy. David Thigpen's joined us as well. David's a loyal listener to the podcast, resident of Murrells Inlet, a good friend of ours, and a really good fisherman too, by the way. And he's joining us here at the bow, and we're going to have Mark Prudhomme, who is 17-time Grand National Champion. We had him on the show last year. He was just inducted into the Hall of Fame. So he's going to be joining us, and I see him at the back of the boat right now. So we'll probably slide him up here in a little bit. But I want to talk to Scotty a little bit more. And, Scotty, a lot of things. Every day's a boat show at Marshall's Marine.
That's correct.
We know that. That is something that is stuck.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know where it came from, who started it.
We enjoy hosting people, and that, Stuart always says that. You're welcome anytime, and every day's a boat show. You come on in, and we're going to show the boat, we're going to present the boat, and put our best foot forward.
You know, and I always joke about it. If you're ever coming to Marshall to look at a boat, make sure you come normally between 11 and 12:30, because there's probably going to be something good either getting cooked, getting eaten, and they will include you in it. So if you're here, and Stuart does love food. I mean,
oh yeah, there's not many boat dealerships out there that both entrances go by out of the kitchen before they come into the showroom.
That's right. That's right. Well, there's no doubt about it.
Sounds like my kind of place.
Well, it is. And we actually did our radio show here this morning, and we were set up over in the lounge. I call it the decision-making area, where the husband gets his wife over and sits her in the chair and says, "Honey, that's the boat we want." And then you have to spend the next hour trying to convince her into it. But a lot of big decisions are made right over there in that area.
That's right. We're trying to make that area comfortable.
That's right. Got the kitchen beside it.
Yep.
Tell her, honey, you point at the kitchen, you say, "Here's the deal. We buy this boat, less time in the kitchen."
That's right. More
That's
time
it.
enjoying the boat.
I didn't even think about that.
Hey, I like that a lot.
Buy this boat, less time in the kitchen.
That's good.
Less time in the kitchen.
Man, I just want to talk about what you were saying right there and tell everybody what I'm seeing sitting on the bow of this boat.
All right, I want to hear what you're seeing.
All right. There's a kitchen.
Yep.
There's a Pac-Man machine.
I forgot about the
There's a
Pac-Man
parts desk that you can get, I don't know what at, but anything that you want for a boat.
That's right.
There's skis, tubes. I'm sitting in a 32-foot offshore fishing boat right now.
Yep.
There's a duck boat sitting right here.
Yep.
There's beautiful bass boats.
Yep. You can't even see the jet ski right there, can you?
Well, there's a jet ski over there,
okay.
too.
I didn't know
There's
there
a
was
jet
one.
ski over there.
Yep.
There's big green eggs.
Yep.
I mean, what else could a man want sitting right here? It's all right here in this showroom, and there's a whole nother one
That's right.
over there and another one at the front.
Here's the deal, and we don't charge entry. You don't have to pay at the door to get in, and we don't charge for parking. Parking is free.
That's true.
Right.
Every single day, we don't charge for parking. Now, here's the deal. We also have the location in Lake City. Let's don't forget about that. They even have a lake over there. And if you're really, really nice, they might let you go out there and go catch one of those pet bass out the pond.
Yeah, we call Lake City's the destination store. You can spend all day there. 5 showrooms, the lake. There's a lot of time and a lot of things to see.
Yep. Well, I tell you what, I know Chris Wilson has spoke many kind words about Marshall's Marine, you guys, for hosting this event. And I can tell you from coming the last 5 or 6 years, however long as we started hosting them here, it's gotten better every year. But the hospitality is incredible, and we're looking forward to a great night. And I know you're going to be busy.
Oh, yeah.
And I will tell you, if you guys look around and you notice the floor in there where we're eating is shining, this man put the hours in this week.
That's right. We got it
He's
done
been
this
buffing.
week. We did. We buffed the floor this week, and I tell you what, it needed it. It looks real good.
Yep. And so I'm going to give you a break, and I'm going to grab Mark and bring Mark up, and I'm going to put these guys to work. Now, David, you're a hunter,
Yes,
aren't
sir.
you? You a turkey hunter?
Yes,
Have you ever heard of Mark?
I have.
Okay, all right, good. 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 I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure. Now, I'm going to tell you one thing. Back in the early days of my turkey hunting, the very first turkey hunt that I was invited on, Mark was going to be my guide. Mark was going to guide me, and I told this story last year. Mark was going to be my guide. Here we go. Get you set up and get you up there. Mark was going to be my guide. My good friend Dan Stuckey was my roommate in college, and he had set it up. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, like the week before, Mark had taken the governor of Georgia. He had taken maybe a senator of some sort, and so I was all giddy and ready to go. Well, I'll just say the truth. Mark saw some things that on the property that he didn't like, that had not been taken care of, and it's nothing against anybody. It was just an oversight, and he didn't want to do it, so we didn't do it. And lots of respect in the world of turkey hunting, turkey calling, turkey design, turkey call design. I mean, a little bird told me that your turkey call is now up to like almost 3 figures. Is that three like thousands already? And they haven't even opened up the bidding here yet.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's kind of shot up there. I'm glad. I mean, it goes to a good cause. It's all to help the wild turkey, and that's what we're here to do. So I'm glad that everybody's bidding on it.
Well, you were out in Nashville last week.
I was at the National Convention in Nashville last week, and I helped NWTF run their calling contest, the Grand National Calling Contest. Since I retired from calling, they decided that I needed to come over there and help them with the contest. So that's what I've been doing.
Now you retired from calling.
Yeah, I was in 2013. I actually won four championships that weekend, and I'm very competitive, and man, it would just wear me out. And my wife was like, "You got to slow down with this." And I was missing baseball games and things like that family time. So I decided it was time to slow down a little bit. So I still go and help them with that, but I don't run all over the country calling and competing anymore.
Well, let's talk about it. Your trip out there, did you have any idea that you were getting put into the Hall of Fame?
Yeah, they told me it's voted on by former champions and members of the media and different things like that, and so yeah, they let me know in the fall that I'd been voted into the Hall of Fame. So it was very humbling. I was to be in that group with guys that they were legends in turkey hunting for many years. Ben Lee and all these guys. I mean, it was just I thought they'd got the wrong guy, but they said
well, I can tell you, I don't think that is the case without a doubt. Your reputation precedes you. Your record is unbelievable. But I know you're known more. Or do you feel like you've made your mark more in the competition side of it, or in the now building of the calls?
Well,
or did they piggyback?
I mean, first and foremost, I was a turkey hunter, and I'm proud that I was a turkey hunter. I can remember going to my first contest. I'd killed a bunch of turkeys, and I said, well, felt pretty good about that. And man, I didn't realize I wasn't ready. That was back in like '89 or so. Went to South Carolina State, and there was some fantastic callers from South Carolina, and still are. But yeah, I got humbled pretty quick. I found out that I needed to go back and work on some stuff, so I did, and just kept coming back, and then finally started winning and going to the Worlds and to the U.S. Open and Grand Nationals, and it just kind of went from there. I started winning contests and started competing in owl hooting and gobbling, and I competed in elk bugling contests and coyote predator calling contest and the NRA contest where you had to call duck, goose, everything. And even blew in the World Duck Calling Contest. So I just enjoy calling of all kinds, but of course turkey's my number one love, and that's what I like. But yeah, it's been a long time. I've been at it a long time.
Well, now do you still get excited about hunting?
Man, I can't wait.
Okay.
Wait. I'm waiting for that first morning. I want to hear that gobble on the first morning. I mean, that's what we all live for.
Yes, it is. I would say without a doubt, and the man to our right, Lucas over there, has played a big role in my love of it and offering up the opportunity to hunt at his beautiful place. But it is unbelievable. Last year, we were leaving to go to Florida the next week when we sat down with you.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, due to some illnesses, unfortunately, I caught the stomach bug from his son while we were down there, and he did too. So Stephen got to hunt with his buddies, and they did harvest one bird. We went and hunted the one day that we got to hunt. We had a couple cows come in and hang out with us. We were hunting his cattle ranch, so we had some cows come in and hang out with us, but we didn't have much luck, and then, of course, the illness came about it. But, I could tell, and I'm sure Lucas will agree, but he's hunted down there a lot. For me, it was different. Have you done a lot of Florida hunting, or?
Not a lot. I have down there. I've hunted around Okeechobee down there.
That's where we're
That's
at.
where we are.
Yeah,
Yep.
some of those around Indian towns where we were, and we hunted some cattle farms, and man, it is that's tough because it seemed to me like it was either really thick in palmetto or wide open, and those birds will fly down and they'll go slap across those big pastures. You can't really get ahead of them. It's tough.
Yep.
But I've done all right down there. Killed Osceola, and it's a lot of fun to go different places like that. And you gotta learn everywhere you go.
I was going to say, it's got to take a lot of adapting. I mean, if you go out west and obviously go hunt for the Rio, Rio's out west, right? I mean, you're in some of those areas, you're going to be in rocks and mountains and everything else.
Sure. It's everything, from the Goulds in Mexico to the Rios and Merriam's and all that is everything is different, and you have to adapt. You have to be able to adjust. But you know what? It's the same way around here in South Carolina. I mean, you may hunt cypress swamps, you may hunt clear cuts, you may hunt in the upstate and oak hills and things like that. So everything's a little different.
That's right. And you mentioned the Goulds. Now they are. Stephen was telling me a little bit about them. They got a really cool coloration, right? They got a little bit different color scheme on the fan. Is that right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I haven't been to Mexico. I had a chance to go, but I didn't go. But yeah, they're a pretty neat bird. But going into a different country and hunting there's a lot of different aspects of that you gotta,
I just saw where I'm sure your friends or know Alan Foxworth, don't you? You know Alan Foxworth from Earl's Inlet. I saw where he went duck hunting over there. Did you see that pile of ducks?
Yes, I did.
My goodness, do they have regulations over there?
Must not.
That's what I'm thinking. I mean, it was. I mean, first off, I don't know if I could afford the shells.
Ooh, wait.
As bad as I shoot, I don't. I definitely, after seeing that pile of birds.
That's kind of like going to Argentina dove hunting.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know in the world. But one thing I wanted to talk about was I did have an opportunity the first day, and while Lucas is walking away, because I'm not putting him on the spot, because he agreed with me. So I did have the opportunity. Florida, you can actually harvest a turkey with a rifle legally. There ain't much sport to that.
Nah.
We may have talked about this last year, but I'm just going to say I did. I had an opportunity at what I would consider, or what they would consider, I guess, to be a biggish bird down there with a decent beard and probably a 100-yard shot, and could have shot it with a rifle. And I said, no, dude, I'd rather waste my $170 license fees and not kill one than shoot one with a rifle. I mean, I guess at the end of the day, it's kind of like me in golf. Like, I still don't think you should be able to hold the flag for somebody putting on the green. But, of course, they changed the rules, and you can now hold the pin while somebody's putting on the green. But, that just, to me, I don't know. It just doesn't seem. And I've only been turkey hunting for 12 years. But
yeah, to me, the challenge and the art of turkey hunting is calling them in close. And I hunt. I'm kind of old school. I hunt with old double barrel guns, and I'm shooting in some cases 2.5-inch shells. You know, I'm lucky to have 1 ounce of shot, so I'm trying to get them 20, 25 yards. So yeah, I mean, and it's just a challenge. It's just something I enjoy doing. And sometimes they're at 40 and I let them walk. You know, it's just it's kind of like bow hunting. You know your limitations and you know you're limited, but it's fun to go after them like that.
You know, that 40-yard where you got to let them walk hurts sometimes. But ethics being first and foremost is normally the best decision. And
Always.
And, you know, the one thing I have been blessed, I will say, is that I've never been a part of and I know it's coming because it happens to everybody, but I have never been a part of a turkey that was not recovered.
Yeah.
And whether it was killed on the first shot, the second shot, or cleaned up with somebody chasing it and finally getting it.
Yeah.
But I have not been a part of a missed turkey, and I think Lucas has hunted with me probably more than anybody, or as much as anybody, if not more. But I don't think I've ever been a part of anything like that. But I can see it happening. I had Fraser Wall's son, Chip Wall. We were turkey hunting, and I was helping him. He was just learning. He was young. And we were at their property, and we had 5 toms, big old toms out with about 10 hens, and they would not come across the field. And I didn't have all I had was 2 hen decoys in front of me. Couldn't call them across, couldn't get their attention. Well, a dog came running out. And the dog ran right to them and ran them off. Well, the biggest tom comes flying right at us. And I'm sitting there not even contemplating shooting. I didn't have my gun. I'm watching it fly over the top of us, and I hear ka-tow, ka-tow, and I have to duck. This thing lands, and Chip goes, wow. And I said, wow, you just shot a turkey in the air. Like, I have never seen anything like that. And it landed in the fork of the tree, and the head got stung, and it was just hanging in the tree. But that was crazy, and that is the way it works. But he and I have hunted, and everybody, this is what gets me so excited about turkey hunting. It's not the success, it's the failures.
Yeah.
The stories.
We are full of failures.
We are full of failures.
We have killed together. How many times we've hunted? 50 times probably we've hunted together, turkey hunted?
Yeah.
Maybe more?
Maybe more.
How many birds have we killed together?
Together, the 2, 3.
We've killed 3 birds.
3 birds.
In a minimum of 50 times together. And we're still going on the same property in separate ways sometimes, but that's us together. And, Ben, if he said you want to go tomorrow, I'm ready.
Hey, and 2 of those were in one shot.
Yep, we were trying to film for your TV show there.
Yep.
And it was my turn to carry the gun. And evidently he didn't have the shot with the camera.
But we couldn't communicate. We couldn't communicate, which again, when turkey hunting, and you've done television,
A lot. Yeah.
You know how hard it is.
It's
The communication is key, and a lot of times you've got to just pass on a shot that was a layup.
Yeah.
Because old boy with the camera or girl with the camera couldn't get it in the shot.
That camera's another skill level.
Yep.
Yeah, I've had to let them walk because the cameraman said no, and that's tough to do, especially, you've been chasing one all day and you finally get him up there and he either doesn't have a good shot or it's just not going to make for good television. It's just you let it go.
Well, all right, a couple questions I have for you, and then I'll ask you a couple goofy questions because I looked up some cool facts, and I want to see if you know them. I've already got these.
He does.
I know he does too. I'm sure he does.
Spot.
But a couple things. A lot of people are starting turkey hunting in as a sport has grown tremendously in the last. I would say 10 years, maybe even shorter, but at least in the last 5 or 6 years, it started to grow.
Sure.
You agree?
Yeah, I do.
What's your best advice for somebody that is looking to get into it? That may be, that older hunter that's never had the opportunity. What is your best advice to learn, to figure it out, I mean, other than going to YouTube, which YouTube is great, and I'm not gonna lie, it is. I don't care what it is, but YouTube is great. But what's some good tips you would share with somebody?
I think the most important thing is to go with somebody that can teach you the right way to turkey hunt. You can see some crazy stuff on YouTube. You see stuff that may or may not be the best way to do it. But I think that going with somebody who is a really good turkey hunter that does it the right way would be the very best. When I started turkey hunting, I kind of had to learn on my own. We didn't have turkeys, and there was a few over in the Francis Marion Forest, back when I was in school, and I remember going over there, stumbling around and messing up and calling the birds and making so many mistakes. And in one sense, that's the best way to learn, is to make the mistakes and don't repeat them. But if you can go with somebody that can teach you, the right way to do it, and everything, it's so much more than just going and shooting a turkey. I think you need to be confident with the gun. You need to know how your gun's patterned, and does it shoot point of impact? Every aspect of it, I think, is some of it's a lost art, because with strutting decoys and blinds and different things, TSS shot that you can kill a turkey 75 yards. I think all these things have made us more successful, made the success rate go up. But when you sit down to a turkey and you call him up and you can do it that way, and you get a good up close and everything, it's a good feeling to do it the right way. I'm not saying anything's wrong with the other ways, but
you and Steven are on the same page, and he's not here, but I can go ahead and speak for him. I know he's on the same page as you with that.
Yeah, for sure. And I just think it's important to do it the right way and learn the right way. And then, I see people all the time, duck hunters and guys in the river and stuff, that really didn't have anybody to teach them. And they're taking too far shots, and they're setting up too close to people and doing different things. And I just think there's a lot of responsibility that needs to come with it.
Yep, that is that sounds like the most recent Facebook message conversation that I had with Craig Sasser.
Exactly. Craig and I are on the same page on most of that stuff, and yeah, for sure.
It's sad because the kids don't know any better. They don't.
No.
And they're getting sent out there, and I mean, quite honestly, the parents might not be into hunting, and to each their own. Yeah. I feel bad for them that they're not into it, but they don't mind stroking that check for that $60,000 War Eagle or whatever boat they want. They'll buy them the decoys. They'll send them out there and say, go. So they're watching YouTube videos, and that's the only thing they're learning. They're not learning about any of the respect part of it.
Well, I see it all the time. I see basically kids that are sent out there in the dark and in duck boats and show up, and they're not even sure where they are, and just setting up and on closer to people than they need to be, and shooting at birds too far, and a lot of different things. Learn the art of it, and how to set decoys, and how to call, and how to work birds and do it the right way. That's important. And I think it's a lost art all the way around. Even deer hunting, all that stuff is. I think we've kind of become a society that wants instant success, and just watching YouTube or television, makes it look easy, and people go out and just try to duplicate that.
Well, I can tell you one thing. Lucas knows that I don't survive on instant gratification, because if I did, I would have quit deer hunting.
Yeah, we'd
I would have
be out
quit
of business.
I would have quit turkey hunting. I would have probably quit duck hunting.
But for me, it's just the excitement of getting out there. And I want my kids that's what I want my kids to experience.
Yeah.
I mean, they're going to be lucky. My kids are going to be lucky because they're going to get opportunities that I didn't get as a kid.
Yep.
But in the same sense, I want them to appreciate it. I want them to respect it. And I want them to learn to do it the right way. I want Russ to do it the right way. I take him out to Loshee. We work on safety, safety, safety. Did I let him climb a deer stand twice with no harness? I sure did. And I needed my head examined. But I set up 2 trees out there that have harnesses that it went next year. He will be in that.
Yeah.
But I've never shaken so bad in my life. I mean, I let him climb up in front of me, and I'm climbing right behind him on top of him. And he was actually strapped to my belt with a thing. But I'm skinny. I mean, if he falls, I'm going too.
Yeah.
But, besides all that, the times that we were there, and we would have a 4-pointer in the field, and he's like, shoot it, Daddy. It's got antlers. Shoot it. No, that's not what we're shooting.
Yeah.
We can't shoot Mr. Lucas's little deer. We got to let those grow. Now, Daddy did end up shooting one of Mr. Lucas's little deer.
He did, but in your defense, you thought it was a grown. He was excited. I mean, he told me, I got the man, this, that, and the other.
Tell him the whole story.
So in today's modern age,
hang on,
with trail cams that will send a pic to your phone, I pulled up the picture of the deer that was on the corn when he shot the man. And I said, I don't remember exactly what I said, but it was somewhere along the lines of, sure hope it wasn't this one that you shot. But to me, yeah, I liked a few years ago to practice trophy management, I guess you would say. But something clicked in me a few years ago that it didn't matter if it was a giant 12-point or if it was a spike that he killed. That excitement that he had, the adrenaline that was running whenever he shot that deer, that's what it's about for me.
Yeah.
I've killed enough of everything in my life. Personally, I don't care if I kill another animal. But it's that experience like y'all were talking about earlier, especially with turkey hunting for me. Getting up early, hearing them gobble while you're sitting there. I mean, that gets your blood pumping right there in the morning. And then talking to him, and he might come to you, he might not.
Yep.
Regardless, I had an awesome morning. And that's what does it for me now, is going and sitting and just experiencing the wild, I guess you would say, right there. And back to the point you were talking about with the experience versus the people that are sky blasted and shooting a turkey at 75 yards away. Me personally, shooting a turkey at 75 yards would do absolutely nothing for me today. Nope. Now, whenever I was 15 years old, that would have done something because I wanted to kill the turkey.
Yep.
That was what I thought hunting was about at that age. I thought we were going to kill something, and you say, oh, I'm going to put meat on the table, in quotation marks, and that's your reason behind it. But the experience of it, I guess once you mature a little bit, and maybe you can pass that on to Russ, and he'll understand it better. That's what does it for me. That's what I love about the outdoors in general nowadays.
Absolutely. David, you're on that same page. I see you shaking your head.
Just hearing Lucas talk, I was kind of at that point in the height of my deer hunting career, as I would say. I can remember just plain as day shooting a deer one day, and I'm like, I just killed a deer with a rifle at 150 yards, and it wasn't there for me anymore.
Yep.
At the time, I was already bow hunting. I basically put my rifle down and strictly bow hunted.
I did the same thing that you're talking about.
Honestly, even turkeys. We didn't have turkeys in my younger ages when I was really hunting a lot. And we started getting turkeys in the area, started turkey hunting. I killed the first one with a gun. Unbelievable excitement. The first time I heard that turkey behind me on the roost gobbling was a game changer. I can't imagine elk hunting.
Me neither.
Oh, man. If it's anything like that turkey in that tree behind you. But I feel like that, even, you're talking about shooting turkeys at 70 yards. I killed one turkey with a gun, and I went straight to bow hunting.
Wow.
And the first time I killed a turkey by myself with the bow was out of this world. And, you know, it gives me cold chills to this day.
Oh, I can imagine. Trust me,
know,
we tried.
We tried.
We tried at least 2 years to do it.
That was 20 years ago, and I can still, you know, when I walk in my rod room and that first turkey feather's on the wall, I'm like, that was a good day.
We had even got on the Jake. Like he had even given me the Jake permission. Like
yeah.
That's how hard we hunted with the bow.
He said, we get the Jake inside, we shooting it.
Yep.
And I think the only thing that I ever drew back on and was able to shoot, and we still have video of it and a great picture of it, I shot the decoy finally one day. We just got so tired. I pulled back, and then he ran out and attacked it and like
stood on the decoy.
Kill it off. And
it was all for TV. You know,
it was all for
looked
TV.
like we got one.
But, yeah, it you know, I still to the day, no matter what, get to shaking my butt off. Almost, I mean, all right, so I got video of the turkey I killed last year. I only hunted myself probably 3 times last year, but I'm at the point where I'm more into having somebody with me. And I don't care if it's Lucas. I don't care if it's you.
It enhances
I don't care who it is.
It does.
It does.
Well, yeah, you get excited, and you know when you're by yourself, and you want to turn around and share it with somebody, and you know when you're by yourself, it's still great, but it's so much more fun when you're with somebody. And you know, going back to what we were saying, you know, with the bow hunting and then this and that. My dad's one of the best bass fishermen that I've known, and we'll go fishing. He could be, you know, and my son, he's you know, he wants to catch fish, just tournament fishing, just catch fish. But my dad, he likes catching them on top water, and he could be catching fish, but he said, I want him to come up there and hit it on top. That's what he likes to do. So he'll pass fish, you know, because he wants to do it his way. And I mean that's basically, you know, doing setting a goal and trying to achieve that, and that's right. What you enjoy.
That's right.
That one for about 2 years, not anybody around here wanted to fish him on the river. He was beating everybody, and I got to be on his team 2 times and all that. But there was one way that he was fishing that if he didn't fish 90% of the time doing that,
98,
he would have gone home. He would have gone home. And it was just an incredible bite, and he had figured it out. And it worked. Good Lord, did it work. But I can't make it work. I get hung up in everything out there. But he could make it work, and he got excited. But he's been watching bass fishing the last 2 days, and he's gotten a fever. But, see, he graduated. He went from bass fishing, and then he started king mackerel fishing, and then we're doing offshore fishing. And so now he's got the salt in his blood. He's over there. You know, anybody, what we say, salt water is made for catching and fresh. What they say? So anybody can catch a fish in the fresh water. There's some. I know fresh water is for drinking, and salt water is for fishing. But I've heard that one. But there's a different one. God made fresh water for catching and salt water for some. There's some.
No, I think he said something. The term that I'm thinking about, and it could be vice versa, but God made fresh water so every man could catch a fish. And then he made salt water to separate the men from the boys.
That's it.
Absolutely.
I think freshwater fishing
it's opposite.
is harder
than
saltwater fishing.
I do. I think
anyone can go out there to a wreck, drop a piece of shrimp down, the end of your rod's going to bump, and you catch the fish. Yep. Not everyone can go catch a bass in the Waccamaw River.
Now we're getting way off here, but
we are way off.
No, we're not. We're not because, hey, by the way, trilogy is fins, fur, and feathers. So we good. We still inside the range here. But I'm going to say this much. I still think that offshore fishing, and you and I have had success. We've had failures.
Yes.
But I still think that offshore fishing, you get out of it what you put into it, but you can actually buy your way in to being decent at offshore fishing.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah.
Money will put you there.
Well, we're sitting in a $300,000 boat right now.
That's right.
But guess what? If you took this boat to the Gulf Stream, you're not guaranteed to catch a fish.
Nope.
Yeah.
But if you buy that $100 bait and the $1,000 rod and spend $3,000 on a chip that's going to have all the numbers.
Does have all the numbers and the contours.
And all you do is drive right there to that X, put the bait out, and he's going to eat it.
And what's the commercial guy's name that Wahoo fishes by himself, does the overnight trip? He's from Georgetown, I think, or maybe
Wendell?
Little River. Huh?
Wendell?
Wendell.
Yeah.
Wendell goes out there in a 24-foot boat, I'm not going to say the name of it, or 23, whatever it is, and goes by himself, commercially fishes for Wahoo, and crushes them. By himself in an old beat-up boat.
Yep. Doesn't have a leaning post in it. It's all cooler, right?
I heard it's all cooler.
And that man is going to outfish the man that buys this boat, pays for the numbers, buys the fancy tackle, and goes out there to the number. Because that man, Wendell, has experienced it. He knows what to do, when to do it. The wind's blowing this way, I'm going to go over here.
Yep.
So you're right, you can buy your way to success in the saltwater. But I don't think you can necessarily buy your way to success in tournament fishing in the saltwater. That's a whole different.
That's what I'm.
Whole different game.
Let me tell you, I know exactly. I go fishing with my son and my dad at the same time. My son's got all the every live scope.
Yep.
He's looking at his bait and the fish. And he'll say, if he can't see it, he'll say, I wonder how deep it is. And my dad's taking his rod, and he's like, four and a half.
Yep. That's the best depth finder there is.
That's
You can't
right.
do that in saltwater.
Right.
No,
If you do, you're in the wrong spot.
Yeah.
You messed up.
That's right. Now, getting back on subject here, you mentioned something about turkeys, and back when you got into turkey hunting,
Right.
y'all didn't have a lot of turkeys.
We did not.
You didn't have a lot of turkeys. And we're here at the NWTF Banquet. You are very active and have been with NWTF. Let's talk about what they've done and how big a piece of the puzzle that they played in helping the turkeys come back.
Well, I manage a piece of property that didn't have turkeys. And sometime way back in the 80s, there was a restocking program that us and some other landowners kind of went into. And we actually, in just a few years, with good management and the NWTF and DNR, we actually had enough turkeys that we took the cannon net and shot and trapped some and sent to East Texas. So I've seen firsthand where we had nothing and they came back. I remember seeing the very first turkey that just showed up, and then all of a sudden they were everywhere. And
right.
we've had a lot of success, and NWTF has a lot to do with that. NWTF has done a tremendous job. Now, I will say this: turkey numbers are going down. They've dropped a little bit, and they're not everywhere. There's still places that have turkeys, but there's other places that they're not as many. And NWTF is on the forefront of right now doing the research. Dr. Chamberlain out of Georgia, these guys are doing a lot of stuff. They got a big thing going on now at Savannah Riverside where they're radio tracking turkeys and GPS tracking, and they're doing it in pretty much in the absence of hunting. So taking hunter mortality, hunting pressure out of the mix, because a lot of people mid-season they'll say, well, turkeys aren't gobbling and it's over and all this and that, but they're forgetting. I mean, they done killed 2 or 3. Dead turkeys don't gobble, and plus two, you've gone in there and shot 1 or 2, and the other ones are kind of going silent on you, or maybe the less dominant bird.
Right.
So, there's a lot of things at play, but NWTF is, and I was up at the convention this past week, and I'm telling you there's a lot of effort being made by them to put money into research, and some of the money that we're gaining here tonight, hopefully the trumpet that I donated will go to some of that stuff.
You know what I like about and why Stephen and I have gotten so involved with NWTF is the money stays here.
Yeah.
And not here, it stays in South Carolina.
Right.
And that makes a big difference.
Sure. We have, and let me tell you, it's kind of like this. Ducks Unlimited is a great organization, but Ducks Unlimited, they send their money to where the nesting is, and it goes to Canada, which is good. That's where
it's important.
Where it's needed. So that money goes up there. But with turkeys, we've got to manage and help turkeys on every piece of property. I mean, our turkeys don't migrate. They're on our property, and it's our duty to make our property good, to enhance the habitat, and do everything we can, trapping, everything we can do to help those turkeys on our property. So it's a team effort. It's every man on the ground that's getting it done, and that's what the NWTF is good at.
And that is great. And that again, I'm so happy that we've gotten involved with them so much. And if you notice the silence,
yeah,
Chris gave me 5 minutes about 6 minutes ago, so we're gonna finish it up.
I got a quick question that I think listeners will relate to.
Come on.
Sorry. So I'm familiar with the Eastern turkey and very slightly the Osceola. And I know for sure on my property, the numbers they're going down.
Yep.
And I look at the common things. You want to talk about predators and overhunting. And a few years ago, it was brought to my attention about the controlled burning and burning up their nesting sites, which I never thought about that until learning about it. But are all the numbers declining, not just the Eastern turkey? Or is there one in particular that's hurt worse than the others? And maybe you could look at what.
Well, the Eastern turkey is the most widespread, and their numbers are going down. But there's other states that numbers are going up, and there's other states that have changed their laws and when the season comes in and different things like that. But, you have to look at it under a microscope, and every situation's different. And I don't know for a fact that the Miriams and the Rios and all their numbers are going down. Mm-hmm. I can't speak to that, but I do know definitely the Southeast, everybody's kind of seeing a downward trend. So we don't want it to go the way of the bobwhite quail. We want to try to head that off. So everything that we can do help.
Yep. And every prescribed burn that comes before nesting season helps a lot.
Oh, absolutely.
A lot.
There's nothing better for turkey
Again, you and Stephen are on the same page on this one. He's very vocal about it.
I'm with that. Once I learned about it, I said, man, that makes total sense.
Yeah. And, nothing's better than burning for wild turkey habitat. I mean, that's the cheapest, best thing you can possibly do. But timing is very important on that.
Right. And then when you look at the biggest population or the biggest acreage of property between us and Charleston, and dude, they're burning in May and June. I mean, I'm driving through there going to a meeting in Charleston, and in May, this road smoked out because they're over there burning. And I'm like, wow.
Aren't they doing that because of was it a woodpecker?
Yes.
The endangered woodpecker
the
that's
red
there?
cockle-headed woodpecker.
Yep. Yeah. Exactly why they're doing it. Because of money. Because of money. Stephen can, you've heard it.
Well, I heard it on the podcast. And
Stephen explains it better, but yeah.
That really surprised me that, they don't look at that and see, okay, yes, we're helping this one, but look what we're doing to the turkey population or whatever it may be.
Think about all the other things that they're hurting at that time.
Whitetail fawns and
yes.
Yep. Yeah. Exactly. Well, listen, it's been a blast hanging out with you. I want to ask you a question.
Yep.
If you end up having an open day sometime before the season's over, could we just go with you? You come out to Loshee.
We won't even take a gun. I just want to go experience.
You come with us to Loshee and just go with us. I'll video, and we just want to go hunt with you.
I would love
it. Would be awesome for us, both of us. I mean, we put time in. We're not. I'll just say this much. We put our time in.
Yeah.
But it would be an honor and privilege to go with you once, just to.
All you got to do is let me know when. We'll make it happen.
And even if you might be full this year, the offer's on the table for a long time.
Well, yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate it. We'll definitely try to get together and do something.
And then maybe next year we might need a duck caller every now and then out there. So
yeah, I could use a duck caller.
So that was what I was going to say. Yeah.
That's the one in my bag.
Here, ducky. Exactly. Well, thank you guys, David. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Amos.
Hey, you're in my prayers. You're in our prayers all the time.
Thank you.
just to let you know. And thank you for listening. I know you got a bored life if you got to listen to us all the time, but we appreciate you. David is a wonderful person and a great friend, and we appreciate him. Lucas, thank you for sitting up here, and best of luck to y'all. When's the next tournament? Well, we know we're in the Wahoo tournament, but when is Team Long Run? When do y'all fire it back up for the King?
So
for the big money.
We're for sure committed to July with the Kingfish Mayhem.
Okay, not till
it's still kind of up in the air on whether we fish the Kingfish Cup and the Cape Lookout. We want to fish it, but you know how expensive it is to get into those king mackerel tournaments.
That's right.
And if you win one, you're good for a couple years.
Yep.
But it's been a little while.
Gotta win that one.
Yeah,
I know.
But definitely July. But anytime that we can put together a team and have the resources available to go fish a tournament, I mean, we're in.
Hey, congratulations, though. You got sponsors.
Hey, that's
You've
right.
done a lot.
I have some
You've
great
done a lot
sponsors.
in a year. No, you don't. You got one great sponsor, and then you got some other guys like us.
I hear
But it's just nice to have my sticker on the side of your boat.
Heck yeah.
And my thing again, and Stephen agrees with me, like, no matter the financial investment that we have in y'all, the only reason we did it is because we know the work that y'all are going to put into it. And
we're not showing up, putting the boat in and going fishing. I can promise you we're not doing that.
Y'all do a lot of work. Well, I'll tell you what, we did a lot of work today. Hey, we almost got an hour. We did good. Steven's like, can y'all get 30 minutes? I'm like, dude.
I could talk for another 30 minutes about
I just want
the preservation of the wild turkey and the numbers going down and what we can that's really, it's in my mind, and I don't have anyone to talk to it about or figure it out.
Well, my game camera from your place has a lot of pictures of a lot of turkeys in my mind, but I also know how many turkeys there were there 8 years ago.
Yeah, just 8 years ago, a ton. And how many turkeys have we killed out there?
That's right, as a whole. And how many have we killed?
That's what I'm saying.
Exactly.
8.
Where'd they go?
There used to be 200. There's still food. We trap coyotes just as hard as we can trap them. I think we probably pulled 50 off of there in the past 2 years. And the numbers are still declining, and I don't know why. There's something that this area is doing different that's making them decline. In my mind, compared to, if the Rio's doing good, there's something that's happening here that's not different. Happening there. Yeah. That's allowing the turkey to sustain itself or thrive over there that we're not catching on to over here. Yep. And we need to figure it out.
Well, I'll tell you what.
Go on and on about that. It's a lot of it is habitat. So
habitat, and that's what we talked about last year when we had the gentleman from National NWTF was here.
Yeah.
Is habitat. Quail Forever when we were with them. That's all we talked about. CCA, that's all you talk about habitat. I mean, it's important. I mean, and just speaking locally here, Georgetown, Horry County, you talk about the growth, the population growth. You talk about the property, the acreage that is just getting houses thrown up on it every month.
Or timber getting cut.
Timber practices have a lot to do with it, and timber companies don't burn anymore. And you can take a clear cut and draw a circle around it. There won't be a turkey in there after it gets a certain height. So you're excluding turkeys from a lot of areas, and like I say, we could talk about that forever.
Well, we can circle back up. when we go turkey hunting, I'll bring all the podcasters, and then we'll talk about it after we go hunting. So.
I'm in, man. I'm in.
All right. Well, listen, there's a lot of great items in there for the auction. So everybody, David, you got your number. You got your number. I got my number. All mine's linked to David's credit card, so I'm ready to go. Ready to get it up there, start bidding. That trip to Costa Rica sounds good. That trumpet, is that how?
Yeah.
Yep. That trumpet call. But that is a max bid. So that one because so many people are bidding on it, you put your max bid up, and then the highest bidder is going to win it. So it's basically like an auction, but
a silent auction.
Yeah, it's silent.
Right.
And I mean, without a doubt, I mean they're going to maximize it.
Yeah, it'll go live tonight here inside.
So, real quick before I finally close it, did you hear the total that your call at? The total dollar amount in that raffle that was raised, what was it? Do you know the exact dollar amount? He made a call. There was 8 calls or 9 calls in it, right?
Yeah. No. I made. I was contacted by Mossy Oak to make a call for their new vest that they were releasing. And they were doing it for research. It's all going back to the turkey.
Right.
And so myself and 8 other call makers, that are, prominent call makers, so to speak, were asked to do it. And my call was in the vest, and it sold for $31,000.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Yep.
Yep. That was awesome.
It was, man. I couldn't believe it. It's just pretty neat to know that I was a part of something that's going to do so much good.
Yep.
So.
And real quick, another shout out to Five Rivers. 12th chapter, the 12th ranked chapter in the country last year, fundraising. I mean, that's pretty doggone good.
Pretty impressive.
When you figure there's over 1,000 chapters, I think, well over 1,000 chapters. 12 right here in Georgetown, right here in little old Georgetown, with, an area that we minimize. Like Chris said, you could go find somewhere bigger, but 300 to 320 people, that much money. Listen, we got great people here that all believe in turkey, and they all believe in what NWTF does, and that's great.
Hey,
let's go eat.
You got to ask the question.
All right. Oh, yeah, here.
I got to know if someone really knows this or not.
I probably don't.
All right.
I would
ready?
word it to where
I voted for you.
If you come up on poop that is shaped like this, what made it?
Did you know? You knew that?
J-shaped gobbler.
Bam!
Yeah.
All right, hang on. I got another
The
one.
man knows his turkeys.
No, you know this one. The other one though, the turkey snood. So, I know it's decisive, but it actually, the length of it makes a difference with whether the hen gets attracted or not. And secondly, it states that in a fight that more than not, the longer snood will win the fight because of that.
Who wrote all this? Who sat there and measured?
We thoroughly researched this before we got here on the internet.
Did you know that only male turkeys gobble? That was fact number one.
And that's not true because I've heard a hen gobble.
I've heard a hen. I never heard it gobble, but obviously heard it. Did you know that wild turkeys can fly? That's number two.
No, I didn't.
Hang on, here's another one. Wild turkeys sleep in trees. Imagine that.
Man, that's some high tech.
And they can change colors. Now, I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either.
No, they can change colors. Their heads do.
Yes,
of course, we've
I've
seen
seen
that.
right.
Purple.
Yeah.
Blue, white, red.
You know when. So my new. I keep saying we're getting out of here, but it's turkey hunting. I can't quit talking about it. So I've started doing a GoPro, and I put it out in my decoys. So my one harvest, I got the whole thing this year. And I had to get lucky because the one time I had Colin Altman, Marshall's son, with me. Yeah. We had to facing the wrong way. The bird never came in front of it. My bird, I was by myself. My bird came right in front of it. And, dude, that purple head, and he was so pissed. And he got over there and stood right beside it. I almost didn't want to shoot. It was almost kind of like, just watch him do it a little bit and try to beat it up. But I shot, and but that GoPro in the decoy spread is awesome.
Oh, no doubt.
And there's a task cam, task cam. No, not task cam. What's it called?
Tacticam.
Tacticam in there on the table. I want to get in there because I've been watching duck hunters put up the videos, and like where they're leading them to, which is supposed to be fairly accurate. I now know why I miss so many dang ducks.
Yeah, I'm
like
with you.
where they are when they're pulling the trigger.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait a minute, I'm not getting near close enough, leading them enough. So, but it's been a great time. Thank you guys so much. Hey, listen, everybody, if you like this one, click like, subscribe. Remember, share it, and download. We need you to download as many as you can. That helped our numbers. Listening to it is great, but we need you to download it. Don't forget all of our other platforms. We've got Southern English Radio Show and Trilogy Outdoors Magazine. If you want to check any of that out, go to TrilogyOutdoorsMedia.com. It's been a great show tonight, and we're going to go do some eating, do some bidding, raise some money for a great cause. But next week, we'll be back talking fins, fur, and feathers here on Trilogy Outdoors Podcast.
Trilogy Outdoors Podcast is a product of Trilogy Outdoors Media. All views and opinions of our hosts and guests are not necessarily those of our sponsors. Trilogy Outdoors is produced and edited by Trilogy Outdoors Media. Be sure to follow us on all the podcast platforms as well as our social media pages on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And also, don't forget our other brands, Southern English Radio Show and Walk 'Em All Outdoor Magazine. To find more information, visit TrilogyOutdoorsMedia.com. And remember, if it's anything dealing with fins, fur, and feathers, you're going to find it right here on Trilogy Outdoors.